Hi everyone! Welcome back to Limelight Yoga. I get a lot of questions asking me how I got my splits, so I thought that I would make a video going over the stretches that I do regularly to get my splits and improve my overall front split flexibility. I incorporate a lot of these in a lot of my flows. If you've seen any of them, I do try to incorporate a lot of hip, hamstring, and psoas stretches throughout my yoga flows, which are all of the areas that you'll need to get your front splits. I do these stretches normally before aerial, or when I was a gymnast, I would do these stretches every day for gymnastics. It really is about consistency though, so if you're looking to get your front splits, I recommend watching this video like seriously around 3 times a week. It would be amazing if you could do it every day, but realistically, I think 3 times a week you'll start to see some improvement in your front splits. I recommend, if you're at the beginning of your splits journey, to check out these blocks that we have here. You can get them at Marshall's, there's a link down below, but you can get them like literally anywhere, and they really help improve your positioning for splits. It's really important that you have good form and that you're feeling the stretch in the right place. It should always be uncomfortable but never painful, so please be conscious of where you're focusing your stretching on. I'm going to go through each position and kind of tell you where the stretch should be coming from. It's a good idea to kind of warm up your body a little bit before doing the splits, so this would be a good stretch routine to do after any type of cardio, running, boxing, anything that will like really get your body warm. Splits are a pretty intense hamstring and hip flexor stretch, so it's good that your body is warm and elastic when you're getting ready to go into these postures. So yeah, let's get started. So once your body's warm, you're gonna get into a runner's lunge here, into low runner's lunge. And we'll just begin by pressing our hip forward, really sucking your stomach here, making sure that the pull is coming from this hip flexor right here. And you kind of just send your hips forward, kind of maybe tucking your tailbone down. So you don't want to be like here, but you want to be like pressing your hips forward. You should already feel a nice stretch happening here. And then you're just going to bring your right arm to your hip and your left arm up and over towards the right side of the room. And this will go a little bit deeper into the hip. You maybe hold table or something if your balance is a bit wonky this morning or afternoon or wherever time of day it may be. And just lean yourself a little bit forward, making sure that your knee is never going in front of your toe. We'll take a few deep breaths here. Remembering to put your hip down towards the earth. This is really going to get the front of your hip flexor. And then send your hips back, flexing your front foot. This is when your blocks can really come in handy. You can put them on either side of your foot to help you keep a straight, flat back. We're going to be looking out in front of us. And we want to make sure that the bend is coming at our hips. So we're going to suck in our tailbone up. And we're just going to have this flat back as we like try to reach our chest to our thigh. And this you should really feel in the back of your leg, your hamstring. Now we can go ahead and fold ourselves over, allowing our backs to bend over this time. You start to feel a little bit of release in your lower back, your hamstring. And then we'll shift our weight forward and bring both of our hands inside of our feet into this dragon pose. And then you can drop to your elbows. Maybe your forehead. This is another great way to use this block. And this is really going to be a good stretch, not only on the front of your hip flexor on your left side, but on the inside of your right hip. So you should feel both releasing. Remembering to connect with your breath. Now we're going to rise up and reach our hand behind our backs, bringing our foot up, taking twisted monkey. Really remembering to push your hip towards the earth here. And if you can't fully reach behind, just even lifting your foot is okay. But once you can take this bind, this is like really the key that you know that you can most likely get your splits almost down. And you want to be making sure that you're resting on the top of your thigh and not like directly on your knee, because it's not good for your knee to be on the top of the kneecap, putting pressure on there. And from here, I'm just going to send my hips back one more time into half splits. And now we'll go ahead and send our hips into these splits. I would recommend taking 2 blocks and placing them on either side, kind of by your center. And you can press your weight into your blocks as you slowly walk your feet out, inch by inch. You want to make sure that your back knee is touching the floor. Your hips should be squared. And holding your blocks here. This is really helpful if this is where you're at. This is great. Maybe you can come down to resting them a little bit lower. Maybe you can remove them. Sink down. But the key is to keep your weight down the center of gravity. So as much pain as it may be to hold yourself up here, like this is where you want to be. I see a lot of people in their splits, they're like bending over, they go like this, but you actually want the weight to be down. So it's really important to keep your chest lifted and to breathe. Don't forget to breathe. So you can already see, like, I feel like my splits are already going down a little bit more. This is my right side, so one side is always going to be a bit more flexible than the other, but The point is that you stretch each side both times, because you wanna have flexibility on both sides. It doesn't matter if one is down and the other is not. It's more important that you're stretching both sides and they're equally getting tender loving care. Sometimes our bad side needs more tender loving care. So you can see that I'm rocking like back and forth a little bit. This kind of helps loosen up any cramping you might be feeling in your hip flexor. But then also remembering to just press your hips towards the earth, making sure that your hips are aligned. You don't want to be opening up your hip to the side. You want it to be facing down. I'll take a couple more breaths here. Getting comfort and discomfort. And we'll slowly start to come out. Just bending this knee ever so slightly, maybe walking it towards the front. You will feel like, oof, that was tight. So we'll just give them a little shake. Again, splits are pretty traumatic for your body, just because you're really pushing it to the limit. So it's important to find that relaxation, because your body will naturally tense. That's just like its natural response. But the key is to find the relaxation after the tension. So acknowledging the tension and then releasing, letting go, focusing on maybe even visualizing like your muscles like getting longer and getting looser. And so we'll come over to the other side. This is our left side now. And again, we're just going to be pressing our hips down. Like our tailbone should be kind of twisting downward so that our hip flexors are being pointed forward. I'll take a few breaths here. And then when you feel ready, you can raise your right hand and bend yourself, arching over to the left side of the room. Again, the stretch should be coming from the front of your hip flexor on your right side. And now I'm just going to walk my foot a little bit forward as I press my hips down. This is going like a little bit deeper into that hip flexor. And maybe rest your hand down here if that's comfortable for you. But you want to stay pretty much with your hips in alignment and your hips facing downwards. If you can't get to this position, that's completely okay. Do whatever fits in your body right now at this moment. And I guarantee that if you continue to stretch and you continue to practice, you will see improvement. You will be getting lower and lower every time. Go ahead and send your hips back. Flexing your foot this time. It sometimes helps to kind of rotate your foot from side to side, and loosening up that ball joint in your hip. Remember to keep a flat back here. looking forward, making sure that the stretch is really coming from this hamstring. You do this by sending your hips back, but feeling this pull. It's almost like a push and a pull. You're pulling your hips back, but you're sending your chest forward, and that is what creates the tension and causes the stretching in your hamstring. And now we can fold over, allow your head to hang here, resting on our knee. We'll push ourselves forward, coming into this dragon pose, really allowing your hips to sink down, maybe dropping onto our elbows, or resting our head on the block. Again, you should feel this stretch in your right hamstring, or you should feel it in the right hip flexor, and then in the joint of your left hip. So kind of more close to like the ball joint in your left hip, if that makes sense. And raise up. So now reaching back towards our left side, we're going to grab our right foot with our left hand into our twisted monkey here. So that's pretty cool. Shallow's also doing like that. Right? Are you doing another shallow? She's like on my sideways dog. Remember to keep our hips pressed downward. Sometimes people will be in this position, but you really want to make sure that you're pressing this hip down, because that's where the stretch should be coming from. It's in the front of your right hip flexor. Go ahead and release. We'll come back into our half splits again one more time. And allowing ourselves to just feel, again, a slight discomfort, knowing that that's where the improvement is happening. Because if you didn't feel any uncomfort, then that means that you're not getting better, and your splits aren't getting better, and it's a good reminder to always feel a little bit of discomfort. And then we'll grab our blocks to go into our splits. I feel like this helps because you can really make sure that you're squaring your hips. Again, you want them both to be kind of like on your own train tracks. Your knee should be face down, top of the foot face down. And just allowing yourself to kind of fall, no matter where that is. Maybe that's here, maybe that's here. But make sure that at least your chest is up, because that is going to be what brings you down towards the center. And we want gravity to do most of the work. So if you want, you can ditch the blocks. But if you need the blocks, then that's where you are in your splits journey, and I'm proud of you for being there. And it's not where you're gonna stay, especially if you keep doing this video and keep practicing your splits. Again, this is a lot of tension coming from your hips, your hamstrings. So if you're not there yet, that's okay, because this takes a lot of practice and a lot of time and consistency. But it's possible. I guarantee you it's possible. So yeah, you can rock from side to side a little bit. This helps relieve any cramping or maybe some tightness. But again, remembering that it is supposed to be uncomfortable. So to connect with your breath here. Remember imagining your muscles lengthening, relaxing. It's important to acknowledge that there might be some tension, but to consciously let go and feel your muscles relax in this position. And the more that you allow your body to relax in uncomfortability, the more progress you will see, the easier life will become, and eventually you'll have your splits. So, I believe in you. Let's slowly roll out, giving our legs a little bit of a shake, shake, shake. And shadow, shake, shake, shake the legs. Windshield wipering your feet. Now we can do the splits again one more time each side, so that you really feel the difference. I mean, even stretching the other side will help your split on the other side. So let's go ahead and go back to our right side. And if you want, you can quickly, go through all of the stretches that we just did again. It really helps kind of loosen up everything. And look, I'm down on my right side, which is great because my right side is always very inflexible, and I've been really trying to work on my right side flexibility, just my overall flexibility in general. But this has definitely been my harder side. I actually had a hip flexor injury when I was a gymnast because I was overstretching and I wasn't taking my time and I didn't allow my body to relax into things. I was just kind of forcing it, and that is never going to improve your flexibility. Yes, you might get your splits down, but it's not going to be sustainable. It's not going to be good for your body. So please, please listen to your body. It's so important to, not push your body past its limits. Challenge yourself, yes, but also listen. Listen. So then we'll come out of that side. And stretch one more time, our left side. Again, maybe just going back into these simple postures to release any lasting little its and bits of tightness. There. See how much better it is the second time around? And yeah, these are just all really great stretches for beginners. If you already have your splits, it's great to do these just to maintain the flexibility that you already have. I'll be releasing a more advanced split stretch for people who already have their splits on ways that you can get your over splits, variations of splits. Yeah, because once you're here, you can kind of play around a little bit more, maybe like leaning down to one side, maybe lifting your foot. There's a lot that you can do to kind of improve your splits over time to get your over splits. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments. And then it'll just come out just like this. Ooh, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. All right. So yeah, those are the splits. I hope that, these stretches were helpful for you and that you maybe saw some progress already today. Again, no matter where you are in your splits journey, I'm proud of you for showing up today, coming to your mat, practicing, and you will see results. I guarantee you will see results. The more that you practice, consistency is the key to improvement. So show up for yourself, do these stretches, and I guarantee you'll see results. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.
If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up to help others on their splits journey as well.